Hi, everyone. So, in continuation to the discussion, and for the longest time, um, we, India as a country, wanted to have their own search engine in terms of not only the search engine, however, in the best aspects, that search engine discussion happened in Singapore, where our previous president, Abdul Kalam ji, talked about it. And given the fact right now, whether or not Facebook and others should be under the regulations of India is a question India needs to answer as a stakeholder. It's very evident that, especially the seniors, are being targeted through Facebook ads. Facebook revenue model is very simple, and perhaps I was fortunate to meet the Facebook co-owners in Singapore because I was part of a couple of events and. All these facets of social networking, whether it's Facebook, Orkut, and others. Orkut was a sample data set. It was a social enterprise just to see how the people who are coming online for the very first time or were online for whatever reasons, how they utilize these platforms. Now, the question to be answered here is there are zillion times because Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and the others, the sister concerns, they are all under one umbrella. What has happened or what happens? They are acting as independent DAOs. That means decentralized autonomous organizations. So purposefully, I had an account. It's a Instagram account. In the it's no more live, but the data set is there. So that was COS. That was KHAP COS IP 108. And purposefully, I did some edits with the AI tools, and then Instagram asked for some of the details, which is again against the data privacy of the citizens of India if we go to the our understanding of the constitution at the first place. Since I didn't give them the data set, they have deactivated the account. So the point of contention here is because for me, all these, Instagrams, Facebooks, all the social networks doesn't hamper my personal life because we are guarded by another, I would say, not one framework, there are a zillion frameworks in terms of the people who are coming online or who are online for whatever purposes. So the point of contention here is brewing the data with what is the question the stakeholders need to answer in terms of net neutrality. Should Facebook be stopped? The answer is yes. Why should Facebook function in India at the first place? When India itself has its own networks, its own social networks, and they are, I would say, a couple of good startups. Even if they are not good enough, the government can always intervene, just like the PPP partnership we have in Air City. So the partnership itself is like, government has its stakes, then it is being built by the builders, and then there's FDI. So in the online world also we need to have these FDIs. We cannot allow a particular country to control over it. Maybe it's Singapore, maybe it's Belarus, maybe it's Europe, maybe it's US. Right now we know what is happening in US, and to combat the current situation and to stop the targeting of folks, particularly with the mindset of, hampering the data set of the individuals, it is advisable to stop Facebook for the Indian citizens, stop Instagram for Indian citizens, stop the whole social networking platform for Indian citizens. If it has to be done, it has to be in compliance with the Indian laws. Right now, none of these facets are complying with the Indian laws. Um, Earlier, Facebook was, I don't know, still it's there or not. It was in DLF Phase 5 or Horizon Building. So all these, the Twitters, Facebook, and the others, they have been operating from Golf Course Road. And the point of contention is very simple. Even Zomato, I think, uh, is using the real estate of that place. And then other IP, you know, shops, which are actually just shops. They are operating like the seven-star houses, and hoarding the money. So that means the money is not coming to India, but you are utilizing the Indian resources, but the money is going to some other country. That's very, very evident. So the easiest way out is to look into the patenting landscape of India in terms of the firms which are active, which have been filing patent applications, which are being awarded the rewards by the, all these. Maybe it's London based, maybe it's XYZ based. That doesn't matter. I mean, I myself, I keep myself aloof. I don't want to be part of the ethos because the corruption is of that level, because these guys are actually prosecuting the patterns which I have drafted. So I only know what I have drafted. Maybe, they're intelligent enough to decode ABC, but they're not intelligent enough to decode A to Z of what I have written. And those applications are not written now. Those applications were written way back in 2007 to, actually, the applications were written from the patent applications. Maybe the first application was written somewhere in 2004 or maybe earlier also. However, the point of contention is very simple. When the framework was drafted by me, I knew exactly how everything has to work in the social networking space. But at the same point of time, since it's a nexus where, the pre-grant opposition, post-grant opposition, these firms based out in Chandigarh, Punjab, Mohali, and all those, remote areas, they have created an nexus, and that is creating trouble not only for the uh, small MSME to work properly, but it's also hampering the growth of the country as such. And that is the reason I'm again of the opinion that, abolish the Indian Patent Act 1970, abolish the Indian Trademark Act 1999. If anybody has to file, file it through WIPO, that is the IB, that is International Bureau. You file it through the IB, and if you want to learn any of the courses of ITU, you have to enroll in ITU. So if I have to pick out two main organizations out of the whole bunch of so many organizations of United Nations, one would be WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization, and the other one is ITU, that is International Telecommunication Union. So anything to do with the internet, anything to do with the computing power, you have to enroll yourself with the ITU and go through the process. It is going to take years to understand the IP, that is the Internet Protocol. IP is not intellectual property here. So maybe, the word IP is being misconstrued here, but IB is International Bureau, and International Bureau itself, once you file the application before the IB, they have the data set, what happened and how it happened. I'll give you a very simple example. This lady, Krishna Gandhi, she's based out in UK, and she contacted me through Clubhouse. Oh my God. I mean, I used to think that, people based out of Indian origin, nothing to do with the Gandhi family. It's a general data set. That data set is with WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization. How she misconstrued and, tried to enter the protocols of the kind of protocols we had built at the first instance. And honestly speaking, just having a simple, whatever MSc or the PhDs in one particular topic doesn't make you an expert in the medical field. Um, so she connected through me. So a couple of people connected through me Clubhouse, on Clubhouse first of all. So Clubhouse was another application. Again, I would rather say it's a surveillance application rather than a real application. They just wanted to have the data set because, people are just plugged in talking whatever under the sun. I mean, even all the Bollywood actors, right from Tony Fernandez, who is part of AirAsia. I was intrigued when Tony Fernandez came on Clubhouse. Then I realized that, this might be a good tool to get the data set, to train my own data set for the AI stuff I was doing. So in this whole juggling, you have to be a good juggler. So this lady Krishna Gandhi, she came after me, and then want to file a patent, blah blah blah, creating nuisance. um, then there were a couple of Indian patent agents. One patent agent is based out in Europe, so European patent office is also part of it in some ways or the other, because it's an excess, right? And then they hire Indian patent agent who I never know, whose name was Bharti. I never knew some Bharti existed in the Indian patent system also. Anyhow, at the last moment, after all the drafting is done, first of all, she pays me. If I talk about INR, it was something 88,000. I was like, as I said, I'm a blockchain creator. For me, money doesn't even exist. But just to, create a protocol whereby I can just take care of the daily expenses, the basic expenses which I have. And this lady gives me a call. I don't want to get work done from you at the last moment and, give back this much of money. And I was like, I was creating my chain. I was very clear about my protocol. Maybe she is being guided by another protocol which is comes from Gujarat, Ahmedabad. Because another guy gives me a call, where's your office, what do you do? And I'm like, just go to my LinkedIn profile. That's very clearly written. I have my recommendations. So that is one nexus which is ongoing with Krishna Gandhi and the others. And there is somebody called as Bharti in the Indian patent system who I had no clue whatsoever. At the last moment, for doing nothing, she took 20, 25,000. I just paid from my company account. Then again, some kind of nuisance happening. Then there's a lady called as Enima Lakshmi. So in the earlier days, if I talk about the earlier company which went into a co-founder dispute for the reasons very well known, both of us, because we are very ahead of time in terms of, even coining the word tech cop legal, biocop legal, cyber cop legal, tech cop capital, and all that stuff, because we had a vision. I mean, he had his vision, I had my vision, but the vision was very clear on board that, this is how we wish to do it. And in the early days, when I saw that, the other person is not working, I knew that, the vision, there's no vision, it is just a facade. Now, coming back to the understanding of the other data sets, so there's an ongoing case, NA Mahalakshmi versus NCH. Now, what happened in this case is very interesting. Now, this lady who is based out in Mumbai, she contacted the firm. So the other partner was the person who had to take the calls and, have the one-to-one talks and everything. However, for whatever reasons, that case was passed on to me, because he said that, no, she's a female, why don't you talk? And I was like, you're not able to convert anything, but we need to have conversions, right? And he said, like, no, I can't understand what she's saying, and my biotech is not that good. I don't even come from a bio background. So I understood that, and I thought that was the intention. Honestly speaking, what intention, whosoever is coming, that is not my, um, level playing field. So in this case, Mahalakshmi comes with a documentation saying that, what I have developed is bioremediation. I said, well enough, good enough. And then she's saying that she's utilizing, resources of other. She didn't. She's supposed to be a microbiologist or someone with a some kind of bio background, done her masters and everything. Good for her. But the point of contention was very very simple. Or in this particular case, she said that she has developed something. She wants to file a patent, and whatever was the best in the best capacity was done for her at that point of time, and even a copyright was filed. So when you file a copyright, I said, see, this is not patentable, why don't you just file a copyright so that you can create a historical data set of, stating that what you have developed is groundbreaking and whatnot. She said okay, and for that, I mean, in those days, 10,000, 11,000, I don't know what fee structure was quoted. Anyhow, because of the copyright had to be done, she had to send those CDs. Everything came in a CD, and we submitted the same to the patent office. Now at the back end, what has happened is, what I feel the foul play is, because at the back end, these people who are working with the patent office are on a contractual basis. They have no cognizance of what is happening. Now, honestly speaking, I don't even know whether her bioremediation works or not. Because if it works, then Ganga and everything can be cleaned in just using a micro. Now she's during the whole process. She stated that somebody has taken the sample from here. Somebody is giving me calls and all those things, um, and calls and everything. I said, okay, why don't you file a police complaint? So I had that email ID where there were a couple of people who were involved, and I said, okay, I'll help you with the drafting of the letter. So this is way back some time in 2011, 2012. After that happened, according to her, there's a company which was formed which is called NCH. So there's a case ongoing before the US courts, which is Any Mahalakshmi versus the NCH. Honestly, according to Mahalakshmi, NCH has taken her patent and foul play because nothing is being done in India. She cannot initiate a case in India, which I understand totally. But at the same point of time, I mentioned to her that why don't you just, you contact and make Government of India a party. Now the thing is, this lady Anima Lakshmi, she comes from a family just like Hiranandani. So she has her own battle which is ongoing, the personal battles and everything. And this case is also ongoing before the US courts. And the US courts, obviously, without hiring a lawyer, if you go through the whole process, it's tedious and it's next to impossible for anybody to win the case. Now, in this particular case, first of all, I don't even know whether that invention works or not because she has spent almost on the Indian Patent Office, I think INR 50 lakhs plus plus, but still I don't see the product in market. Uh, and even the patent which I had filed got granted. She didn't pay the annuity fees. So the intent is even not clear what she wants, or either it was just a facade of creating a data set of, again, because she comes from biostatistics, or I don't know what her background is all about. But there's an ongoing case in US, Anima Lakshmi versus NCH. So the government of India should intervene because this lady sent an email to the Indian Patent Office, and I have no understanding why she's emailing to all other law firms in India, or other law firms were involved in advising her this is what she should be doing. So there's a lot of crappy stuff which is happening around intellectual property rights. If bioremediation is so simple and if her innovation is so good, why doesn't, under the Indian patent laws, the government intervene and take that microbe and utilize for bioremediation and clean the Gangas and the Yamunas of the land? So the intent is very simple. If the innovation has some value, the case has value. If the innovation doesn't have value, this all is a facade. And that is one reason why I feel that intellectual property rights in the new world order or in Web 3.0 has no value altogether. So that is one intention and contention. And the other matter is of the fact, definitely having the IP disputes in place. Uh, so you can go through the DAOs. You don't even have to go to court. Mediations and arbitrations don't even come into existence when you are part of a DAO. And I'm part of not one DAO, probably 100 plus DAOs globally. And there are many DAOs who don't want them to be named on the platform. And that is the reason, we resolve the cases the way we have to once we understand this is the pain point. And that is how DAO works. It's decentralized autonomous organizations, which has quasi judicial powers in the online world. I hope this is able to answer a few of the questions which a few of the folks had messaged me on LinkedIn. So I would rather say just play your own stuff, your own frameworks. Our framework is very, very strong. And there are a lot of people who are just watching this out. I mean, the people who are the controllers, the way the world has to work, whether it's the online world or the offline world, they're watching it, and they're watching everything in terms of what is associated, what is not associated. So be careful before you speak in terms of um, what is right and what is wrong. But understand one aspect very clear: the intellectual property rights has no value altogether as we enter, or I would rather say we should abolish the intellectual property rights and come up with something different so that the current menace can be taken care of. Thank you for watching out the video. Have a great day ahead.